Let me first put a shout out right now, if I could, for www.noblegoldinvestment.com. That's www.noblegoldinvestment.com. You know, Noble Gold CEO Colin Plume thinks that quantitative tightening is setting up the stage for a gold rally. And in his interview with the National Desk, Colin Plume said that the tightening is pushing the dollar up. However, he predicts that by next year, the Fed will print money again to restart the economic activities. If you're thinking of gold and silver right now, good time to do it. Noble Gold is giving a free gold American Eagle coin with every eligible IRA or 401k rollover in this month of September. You can't go wrong with noblegoldinvestments.com. Pick up the phone Tuesday morning at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And find out about your financial planning. Let Noble Gold help you. And tell them that Pastor Paul Begley sent you there.
The biggest blackout in history. 140 million in Bangladesh plunged into darkness. A total of 140 million people have been plunged into darkness in the world's biggest blackout. The massive power outage in Bangladesh was caused by a mysterious grid failure, the government's power utility company said. It remains unclear what caused today's unscheduled blackout, which hit more than 80% of the country shortly after 2 p.m., according to the Power Development Board. Apart from some areas of Bangladesh's northwest, quote, the rest of the country is without power, spokesman Shamin Ashan said. It remains unclear what caused the power outage, with Ashan alleging it was caused by a technical malfunction. Huge geomagnetic storms are expected to reach Earth tomorrow. Our planet is set to experience G2 class moderate intensity geomagnetic storms today after the sun sent out solar flares of multiple intensities as well as some charged particles over the weekend. Increased activity on the sun has long been expected as the star has entered an active phase of its 11-year cycle. During this time, the polar regions on the sun flip, where the north becomes the south and vice versa. These changes also result in disruptions of the magnetic fields inside of the sun, which can temporarily halt the convection process in some regions. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the CMEs sent out are expected to reach Earth at midnight on October 4th and cause a G2 class geomagnetic storm. Britain continues to face turbulence as economic and political turmoil continues. Britain's new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, faced her biggest challenge this week since taking office a month ago, introducing and then retracting a controversial cut in income tax for top earners that was part of her budget plan aimed at offsetting the country's deepening economic crisis. Truss's unusual move on Monday, which appeared to be in response to broad criticism that sent the pound sterling plummeting last week to an all-time low, ended up rattling the new Prime Minister's own Conservative Party and prompting some to question whether she should be ousted. The 47-year-old Truss, who won leadership contest back on September the 6th, following a fierce internal battle to replace former Prime Minister Boris Johnson as both Conservative Party leader and Prime Minister. Major solar flare disrupts Hurricane Ian disaster response. Emergency responders dealing with the tragic aftermath of Hurricane Ian in Florida and the Carolinas may have suffered extra setbacks on Sunday as a major solar flare disrupted radio communications. The solar flare, a powerful X1, erupted from the sun on Sunday and peaked about 30 minutes later. The radio blackout, classed by the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration as a strong R3 category, likely affected rescue workers using 25 megahertz radios to communicate in the areas where the rampage of Hurricane Ian had knocked down cell phone networks. Iranian students clash with police as deadly regime crackdown nears its 20th day. Iranian police are clashing with students across the country as the Islamist regime nears its 20th day of deadly crackdowns on protesters seeking rights for women. Multiple unconfirmed videos have circulated on social media appearing to show students defying the regime. Other videos appear to show pro-government forces firing on demonstrators. While Iranians have protested against the regime before in recent years, observers say the current unrest is different. Iran's internet blackout has made it difficult to ascertain how many people may have been arrested or killed in the unrest. Some estimates say as many as 200 people have been killed and 10,000 people have been arrested. The Nord Stream pipelines have stopped leaking, but the methane emitted broke records. On Sunday, the Danish Energy Agency announced that a series of leaks in natural gas pipelines running under the Baltic Sea had been stopped, but the rupture, preceded by multiple explosions last week, appears to be the single largest discharge of methane, an extremely potent greenhouse gas. The Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 were not actively carrying natural gas when the explosions rocked the pipelines off the coast of Denmark, though there was some gas in the lines. Russian President Vladimir Putin has accused the West of sabotaging the Russian-built pipelines, a charge vehemently denied by the United States and its allies.